Yeah, thank you. So, welcome to this special symposium for Conxita. She's here. I mean, for us, it's really nice to make this kind of somehow celebration. It's not only a celebration, because actually it's going to be very interesting scientific talks. And so I would like to welcome, and I will give a very brief introduction just to explain. I mean, many of you already know her, but there are others which also not. So, very briefly, because in 10 minutes I will try to summarize, and a scientific career is almost impossible to reduce it in 10 minutes. But just to mention that she is a PhD in chemistry from the University of Barcelona. She received a Master of Science in Chemistry in the University of Missouri in Rolla, in the US, and she graduated as a PhD in the University of Seville. She belongs to the Spanish Council for Scientific Research, CSIC. And well, presently she has a position as a research professor in the Institute of Advanced Chemistry of Catalonia in Barcelona. She is responsible for the colloid and interfacial chemistry group. I actually have the pleasure, because actually Conxita supervised my PhD thesis in this group, and this group has been recognized as a consolidated group by the Catalan government. Her main research lines, I mean, I will just try to summarize, but one can headline these short points. She has deeply studied the phase behavior, self-aggregation of surfactant systems, the mechanisms of detergency studies at low temperature, and also she has deeply focused on the formation and studied the properties of emulsions, mainly highly concentrated emulsions and nanoemulsions, and preparing these systems by low energy methods. Means that using a phase transition of applying external energy. And another important research line has been the use of different colloidal systems for preparation of nanostructured materials, I mean nanoparticles, porous materials, and also using colloidal systems for solidizing media, for instance, for drug delivery of active components. One of the main achievements, and the first one, was about to study the relationship between detergency and phase behavior. Actually, these results clearly show that the optimal detergency occurs at the PIT temperature of the surfactant system. So it means that this can allow to optimization of detergency. She also studied so much in detail, she has studied very deeply, the formation of highly concentrated emulsions. I mean, this is just an example to illustrate and relating the formation and property of the emulsions with phase behavior. It's interesting that she described for the first time the formation of highly concentrated emulsions by low energy methods. These emulsions, of course, can be formed. I mean, it's important to know about the HV temperature of the system. This is an important parameter for the formation of the highly concentrated emulsions, and she studied this link. Other parameters which are very important are the oil surfactant ratio and also the microstructure of the continuous phase, who play a role in the formation and stability of highly concentrated emulsions. Regarding the relation between stability and microstructures, her studies demonstrate that the stability formation is determined by the structure in the external phase of the emulsions. For instance, highly concentrated emulsions with the external phase is continuous, these emulsions are highly unstable. But the stability increases with the oil surfactant ratio, and they are more stable when the external phase is micellar phase. Conxita is also very well known for her studies in formation of nanoemulsions using low energy methods. I mean, the methods she has been focusing on that very important are the PIT method. That means emulsification at constant composition, changing temperature, and the PIC method, which is keeping temperature constant and changing composition. I mean, this scheme is simply to illustrate the formulation pathways that follow both PIT and PIC methods. But the point is that she has gained so much information about how to control and how to obtain nanoemulsions by using these methods. It's interesting that, of course, nanoemulsions require low interfacial tension to be formed, but this is a requirement, but it's not sufficient. I mean, to obtain the nanoemulsions, one needs to use the appropriate phase transitions, for instance, through liquid crystals or by continuous phases. This slide simply shows an example. I mean, are just examples to illustrate the research that for the formation of oil water nanoemulsions by the PIT method, by changing temperature. Here in this work, she compared the cases with an excess aqueous phase and an absence of this aqueous phase. And actually there was shown that the excess water is simply a diluting media, because the droplet size is controlled by the structure of the microemulsion phase during the emulsification. And also, she noted that it's very important that both oil and surfactant are in the same phase when starting the emulsification. The point is that one interesting conclusion is that laminar, PIC and PIT methods have many common features, and actually they are governed, I would say, by the same rules, because basically the key structures, the controlling both processes are the same in both families of methods. And it is important the evolution of the nanostructure, the intermediate phases during the emulsification process. Well, I just would like to finish this introduction, but simply to mention that Conxita has kept many relationships all over the world, which is really recognized, as you know. I mean, this is just to illustrate the many places in which she has had collaboration over the years. I just would like to mention some data that she has published, over 180 original publications, 21 chapters. She has supervised 36 PhD theses. She has edited one book, and she has organized 2 big conferences. One was the ECIS conference in Barcelona, and the surfactant solution also in Barcelona. There are many contributions, of course, you know. I mean, she was a president of the European Cosmetic Interface Society. And she has been also president of the Specialized Colloidal Interface Spanish group, which belongs to the Spanish Royal Society of Chemistry and Spanish Royal Society of Physics. She has been a member of the management committee of the International Association of College and Interfacial Scientists, co-editor of the issue Emotions and Micromotions of Current Opinion College and Interfacial Science, and member of the editorial committee of the Journal of College and Journal of College and Surfaces. Well, she has received many awards and recognitions. I just would like to mention here the Jordi Camp Award from the Spanish Committee of Detergency, the honorific mention of the International Federation of Societies of Cosmetic Chemists. She was selected as one of 16 Catalan women researchers. She received the Thurley Award for the scientific career, and recently she has been now awarded with the Misela Prize from the Spanish Committee of Detergency and the Pierre File Award by the Formation Group of the French Chemical Society. And simply, because I have been working with her for some years now, so I just would like to thank her.
Many years I learned a lot of surface chemistry from Conxita, so it's a pleasure to be here. So today we have 9 lectures from people who have collaborated with Conxita through the years and from many different countries. And we have divided the day in, or this symposium in 2 sessions, so before coffee there will be 4 presentations and then 5 presentations after that. So I think we should start with the first one, so we stick to the timetable. And the first one is by Professor Björn Lindman, who has no less than 3 affiliations: Lund University, University of Coimbra, and Mid-Sweden University. So you can put on 3 hats, and you will talk about clouding of non-ionic surfactants and other peculiar temperature effects. So please, Björn.
The person who spoke to the Italian one.
Dear Conxita, and dear friends of Conxita who are here for this occasion. Of course, it was many people, when they heard about the retirement of Conxita to occur soon, thought that there should be some manifestation of this, some honorable Conxita. And so this idea came up very naturally. And we're very happy to be here today. I will go back to some very old stuff where Conxita and I have had contacts long ago. So we'll take it a little. Okay. So, Frode already told about several of the achievements of Conxita. And I also put down here some, and lamellar phases and the bicontinuous microemulsions to obtain nanoemulsions is a very strong feature. And this, as Jordi said, nanoemulsions with very small droplets and narrow size distribution. Low energy methods to obtain polymeric nanoemulsions. This high internal phase emulsions are very important, and detergency mechanism. And of course, she has contributed very much to our society during many years. As president and also as organizer. And she has organized many meetings and we had many opportunities to come to Barcelona, which we always enjoy. So we have some common background in some, and go back to the first time we met was in the surfactants in solution meeting in 1982, and this was an important step for both of us. I think it was the first international meeting that Conxita went to, and it was the first we organized in Lund. And there, it was on this meeting there were a lot of discussions on temperature effects of non-ionic surfactants, and I will come back to some of this. Another common factor in our careers have been Yokohama National University, where we both had very fruitful contacts, both with Professor Shinoda, mainly for me, but also Professor Onieda, and this has been important for both of us. So, temperature effects, you all know about this, that if you have a non-ionic
Tiffany with Magda Elnoka, who I'm sorry is not here. So who happened to come up to me after a talk that I gave at an American Chemical Society meeting. She says, "Brett, I'm going to Barcelona. You have to meet this fantastic group. Conxita Solans and this group of 6 dynamic scientific women leaders in surfactant chemistry." And so during that 10 months, I was working with Ernest on protein structure determination. Proteins which all of us here just consider as complicated surfactants. I was using NMR to look at them. And during that time, we became very close, both to Conxita, her family, and the whole group, which is I've maintained actually more closely than the other groups I was working with. So I think that's the sign of the closeness that I feel towards Conxita and her group. I'm going to talk about some things that involved her and members of her group at different times, and I think it's quite exciting. And so there are several reasons why I think you will hopefully enjoy this. So this aspect.
So I am extremely glad and honored to join this tribute to Conxita. I was a research associate in the National Spanish Research Council under the supervision of Conxita. I started there in 2006, so it means that we have been working together for 10 years now. And this is also for me an opportunity to express my gratitude to Conxita for all this generosity and friendship during this year. So today I will show some very recent results on the synthesis and characterization of colloidal nanorods and their measures, aiming at some specific applications. And this is a collaboration work between our laboratory, the International Iberian Nanotechnology Laboratory in Braga, Portugal, the University of Minho, and the National Institute for Material Sciences in Japan. We have a collaboration with Dr. Lokumar Surestra that I think it will be also very glad to be here because he's a friend of Conxita and also has been working together with her for several years.
So what I will present is a review of the different works just developed over the years. It's difficult to review such a long, because here I will simply show very condensed, just to illustrate a little what we have been carrying out on preparation of porous materials. Basically, I mean, all the work of the person was made under the guidance and support and supervision of Conxita. The presentation, simply after a very brief introduction.
In the meantime, I would like to say thank you to all of you for being here instead of being sightseeing in Rome such a nice afternoon. I also would like to thank Dion, Maria, Krista, and Brad for the initiative to have this symposium, and also to Jordi for joining enthusiastically, and to Maria Jose for helping and supporting him. So thank you very much. It's been really very nice time. I also would like, though you already have said so, I'd like to thank you to all the speakers for the effort in preparing the talks and for the nice words. I will bring it with me, so it will be very nice memory for me. Also, many thanks to Luciano, the organizing, for having facilitated. And also I would like to thank the members of my family who have been here with me in this special occasion. And again, thank you all of you, and see you probably in the future. Muchísimas gracias. Además, fer l'esforç de presentar
Que entre mucho dinero en eso.
no sé, a partir de ahora.